Why are you poor? You think you've figured everything out. All the chaos, the system, life, in that dark labyrinth you've built. You paint the walls with your own hands every day. You lock the doors yourself. Then you sit there, searching for the key in the dark. When you can't find it, you blame the whole world. But the key is right there in your pocket. You're just afraid to put your hands in your pockets. You know what you'll find there. Yourself, facing yourself. People run, silently, from an invisible line. Most people spend their whole lives just trying to close a gap. Constantly, every day, waking up at the same time every morning. Is the gap you're trying to close really out there in your bank account? Or is that invisible void inside you growing wider every day? You never dared to think about it because you didn't have time. You had to work. You had to earn. You were right, or you had to believe you were right. Stop. Just stop. Breathe. You are here. You are alone. This raw light from the screen hits your face. What is that voice inside you whispering right now? That you weren't lucky enough? Or that geography is your destiny? So, is the house you were born in your destiny? You know, some people operate a secret mechanism to sabotage themselves at every great opportunity that comes their way. Have you ever wondered why? Maybe you didn't want to think about it. You just felt it. A silent weight on your shoulders. The heaviest burden is the responsibility you never lifted because you were afraid to carry it. You hide this from everyone. Your spouse, your friends, sometimes even from that face in the mirror. There's a glittering world outside. Great showcases, numbers, enormous accounts. So where are you in those accounts? A bystander on the edge or a spectator left completely out of the game? Most people only complain about the lack of money. They say the system, they say fate, they say luck. But there is a temple of poverty that a person builds with their own hands, in their own mind, and they sacrifice their most valuable thing there every day without noticing. You are sacrificing too. You give your time, you give your mind, you lay your best sleep on the altar of that temple. The result? The same place, the same feeling of despair, the same vicious cycle. The faster the treadmill you run on goes, the more you just sweat in place. You can't move forward. The system is not keeping you as a slave. You are dying to be a slave to the system because you think if you let go, you will fall into the void. You are so afraid of the uncertainty of the future that you prefer a busy failure to a risky wealth. It's easier. It's more familiar. It's well past midnight. You're in bed, watching the ceiling. Your phone screen is off. The room is dark. Only your breathing can be heard. That relentless whisper inside you starts again. What will happen tomorrow? How will the end of this month come? You know yourself so well. You know which lie you will tell. Even though you don't even believe it yourself, you cling tightly to that comfortable lie. You see, those people who push opportunities away with the back of their hands are the ones who have the most faith in their own lies. Because the truth could shatter that small, fake world they've built. You are afraid of destruction. You sell a safe misery for a dangerous freedom. Now let's see why you remain stuck there, on that edge, without looking for blame, without crying, just by looking at the naked truth. 1. Mechanism, the comfort of familiar pain. People often claim they run from pain. A huge lie. Most people only run from unfamiliar pain. They secretly fall in love with that old pain they've known for years, the one they nurture in their bosom. Think. You come home in the evening. You toss your jacket. You open your phone and check your bank account. Your face grimaces. That familiar, sour anxiety fills you. Strangely, this anxiety comforts you because it was there yesterday too. And last year. You know exactly what you will do. You will immediately call someone and complain about the economy. Then you will sit in front of the TV and numb yourself. Complaining is actually a ritual of secretly accepting the current misery, and the regulars of this ritual never truly want to change. Change is a great unknown, and the unknown sends a risk signal to your primitive brain. Poverty is a safe prison with clearly defined boundaries. You know where the walls end. You can predict where the blow will come from. That's why you want to stay there. This is the only reason you walk into that life that makes you unhappy every morning, on your own feet and willingly. The truth shakes you, does not numb you. You choose to be numb, with small, unnecessary expenses, with subscriptions, with discount product queues, as if saving those few pennies would save you from this bottom. You sell your most valuable capital, your time, for a few pennies worth of comfort. Then you spend those few pennies on temporary entertainments that make you forget you sold your time. You are a willing slave to a life you rented under the promise of buying your own freedom. Most people don't realize this. It suits them not to realize it, because realizing forces you to take action. And action means responsibility. You always endorsed your responsibility to others, to the boss, to the state, to your misfortune. 1. Mechanism, the illusion of worthlessness. There is a hidden price you secretly set for yourself. You don't say this out loud to anyone, but every cowardly decision you make whispers it to the world. Think. A great job offer comes your way, or a brilliant idea flashes like lightning in your mind. What is the first thing you think at that moment? I can't do this. This is too much for me. You immediately lower your own price. You reach for the cheapest, most risk-free option on the table, because you're afraid that if you take more, one day you'll be crushed under that weight. So, that temple of poverty you built with your own hands is exactly this. The mental barriers you erect to keep those great successes you believe you don't deserve out. You are not given more from life because you haven't built a backbone of character capable of carrying more. Every time you make a cheap calculation, you are essentially getting your own mind to confirm that your value has been lowered once again. Subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself. 1. Mechanism: mortgaging the future. Time is your only real capital, and you have already squandered that capital like money you haven't earned yet. Think, you buy a luxury phone with money you actually don't have, or an expensive outfit. Your fingers don't tremble at all when you press that card on the POS machine. We'll pay it off somehow, you say. At that moment, you bind the next 6 months of your life to that plastic box. And for those 6 months, because of that debt, you will never be able to take a risk. You won't be able to attempt a new job. You won't be able to raise your voice to anyone. You are selling your future for the fake, temporary luxury of the present. You are actually not buying that expensive item. You are handing your boss the right to scold you for another 6 months, to wrap you around their finger with your own hands. This corrosive pattern is not just in your wallet. It has spread to every cell of your life. In your relationships, you keep people who don't value you in the slightest at the center of your life. Why? Because the risk of being alone is more terrifying than the comfort of feeling worthless. In your job, you do only the minimum that is asked of you, not an inch more. Then you wonder why you can't earn more. You rent yourself out cheap and try to sell yourself to the world at a high price. In your bond with your family, you still carry the old, rusty burden of the past on your back. My father didn't have my back. My family didn't support me. You chose their poor mentality as your greatest inheritance, and you wear this victimhood on your chest like a medal. In your inner voice, there is a constantly running defense shield. The rich are already thieves. Too much money corrupts people. You numb that feeling of inadequacy inside you with this stale lie. You think of pennilessness as a virtue because you have to invent a sacred cover for your own failure. In your decisions, always the most beaten path, always the least risk. The least risk brings the least gain. You know this mathematically, yet you still choose to walk those dwarf paths. A familiar misery over an unfamiliar success. Have you seen the cycle? How your mind, supposedly to protect you, is slowly consuming you. Silently, most people never once in their lives come eye to eye with that naked truth in the mirror, because they are terrified of what they see. But you are looking right now. This voice is not giving you a new, magical formula. It's just showing you that decay that is already there. Wealth is not just a number. It is a mindset code. So is poverty. You are poor not because of the lack of money in your pocket, but because of the abundance of those invisible shackles in your mind. You find a problem for every solution, an obstacle for every opportunity. This points to a great genius, the genius of self-sabotage. Now you can close this video. Right now, this second. You can go and click on another video that will entertain you, that will put your mind at ease. Something to make you forget this tension, this heavy silence. Because this place is dangerous. This mirror shows too clearly. But wherever you go, you will take that mind with you. That empty wallet will come with you. Those debt messages will keep dropping on your screen. You can't escape. You can never escape from yourself. You cannot break out of a dungeon castle whose walls you built with your own hands. You're not taking a step. You're just waiting. A miracle to fall from the sky. A lottery ticket. A savior. You know perfectly well no one is coming. Yet waiting hurts less than trying and falling. So here is that great confrontation you are running from. Do you know why you are poor? Because being poor is far more effortless than trying to be successful. If you are poor, no one expects great things from you. If you are poor, your excuses are always ready. You blame society, you blame luck. If you are poor, you have a huge shield of victimhood to hide behind. But if you are successful, only you are on the stage. And the sole cause of a possible failure would be you. You run away from this enormous responsibility in every corner. I asked you at the very beginning of the video, is the gap outside, or is the void inside you widening? Now you see it clearly. There is no gap outside. The world and the system just exploit that enormous pit of worthlessness you have dug inside yourself, because you allow it, because you deem yourself worthy of the cheapest option on that table. You painted the walls of the labyrinth. You locked those doors, but that key is still in your pocket. Isn't it time to put your hands in your pockets? But even if you somehow manage to unlock these financial shackles in your mind, there is a much deeper, much more insidious trap waiting for you behind them. Your sick addiction to your own mind and your pains. In the next step, you will watch how this invisible addiction plays your life on its fingers. For now, just look here and throw this question into your mind. Could it be that you are secretly choosing this poor life you constantly complain about just to prove yourself right? You already know the answer. Come with me. I talked about you in the next video. Subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself.